Hey guys, my name is Chef Jamal, here with Feed the Mass. We have a special guest here with us today. We are making a delicious salmon bowl, and Chef Bobby is gonna walk us through this delicious and nutritious meal. Stay tuned. Today we are making a delicious, nutrient-dense salmon bowl where a lot of the things are raw except for the two ingredients that can't be. Do you want to tell us what we're making? Tell us about you. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, so like I said, it's going to be a salmon bowl that we're making today. Like I said, it's pretty much raw ingredients. This is one of those heart-healthy things, so while we're actually transitioning into different weather and stuff, we would like to get a lot of this healthy food into people's bodies.
Yes, absolutely. I am excited to get this rocking and rolling. So what's the first thing that we need to do here?
So what we need to do, I would say, is we can start off with all the fruit, actually.
All the fruit?
We can go ahead and prepare the fruit. I think that the apples would be first.
Okay.
So I don't know how you cut apples. I just keep it simple usually and just cut them in like little corners right here.
Yeah.
And just to keep the core out of it. And then that goes to the side there. So just because this is a salad, I try to make sure they're like little slices.
Oh, nice little slices. All right, so today we're working with some apples, right? And then we have some cilantro, we have some beautiful salmon, some salt and pepper always, a little bit of olive oil, some Dijon mustard. We have a quarter of a pineapple, which I'm really excited about.
Right.
Some arugula, which is going to be like a little spicy and give it a nice little flavor.
Yep.
And then some spinach as well, which is super good for us, right?
Exactly. And
Sweet.
Every one of these ingredients is, like I said, heart healthy stuff. So I like to keep the fresh stuff, the different flavors with the pineapples and the apples is like what I'm kind of going for with this. So having different flavors in there as well, and just making sure that when it comes to preparing this stuff, it doesn't take too long.
Okay, so this meal will probably take us a total of 20 minutes.
Yep.
So you cut them into these like croissant moon sort of situations, and then dice them up.
Just kind of dice them up. Usually put them on little stacks.
Oh, okay, dope. So we'll do that. So as we're working through these apples, right? Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you work with, and what you do when you're not, here cooking with us.
Yeah. So basically, I am from Portland, born and raised.
Nice.
Local here. I went to Selwood Middle School, Cleveland High School, so I'm a part of the PIL. I work for Women's First. It's a transitional and it's a transition home for women that are getting out of prison and stuff like that, trying to change their lives and better themselves. And I work in the nutrition development. And so basically what I do for the community with OHSU is I try to implement these diets into people's lives and try to make sure that as we're all going through the stress with COVID and stuff like that, everybody says you are what you eat. So I try to make sure that as we're going through the stress, that we can at least keep the factor of having a stress-free diet. I guess
Yeah.
a lot of this stuff has to do with like our bodies, inflammation, high blood pressure, et cetera. And so I definitely try to make sure that all this stuff is just nutritious to specify those factors in life of hitting the high blood pressure people, the people that have problems with their heart, and et cetera. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's really great work that you do, so thank you for that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so everyone here is always working on nutrition, right? We're always thinking about what's that thing that we can put into our body to make us feel good, and then how can we express that through food, and how can we express that on video? So this is really exciting that it feels like you just fit right into this culture.
I appreciate it.
So when you sent this recipe over, I was like, oh my God, I need to send this to the nutrition team because I know there's a lot of nutrition here, right?
Right.
So when we're talking about salmon, right? So this salmon, I just got this from Trader Joe's, right? Nice prepackaged, costs us about $10, super simple. First of all, the whole meal in general will cost you under $20. So that's dope, right? And you can feed about a family of 4. So that's really important when we're talking about the scope of what the ingredients cost and what their availability is. Fred Meyer for the rest of the things, and then everything else like the pineapple, because they have some really fresh stuff over there, and the salmon, that all came from Trader Joe's, and it was really dope.
Yep.
So the salmon, right, that's high that has a lot of omega-3,
Yep.
right? We're looking at protein, tons of good protein here, really great for inflammation like you were talking about
Perfect, yep.
earlier, and antioxidants.
Yep.
And then as we move over to the brown rice, which is under the foil, we can reveal that because we just, cook that bad boy. Do you want to tell us about that brown rice and what it's good for?
Yeah, so brown rice is particularly high in fiber, a lot of vitamin B in there. So it helps a lot with digestion. Fiber is mainly good for digestion. It's a good alternative for white rice. Anything that's brown or whole grain is always a good alternative for anything that's white when it comes to foods like that. So
You put your apples in there.
yeah, and you know, the next thing I think would be the spinach, right? That we were
Oh yeah,
talking
so
about.
the spinach, that's going to be chock full of like that vitamin K, magnesium, and good for bone health too,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So we start putting all of this together, and like this is great for lunch probably, get you going, like keep
Yeah.
you motivated and keep your body fueled throughout the day. Because I like a big lunch, you know, because it really fuels me all day. But this is also a great dinner option.
Yes, it is. And you can also, like, if you think about it, this is something that you could prepare for lunch and still probably be eating on it by dinner time.
Right,
Or
right,
even
right.
salmon's good, like this kind of salad is actually good for the next day. You know, you could prepare this for lunch, have it, if you actually want to eat it the next day with some different alternatives. As far as all these things go, you
Yeah.
can always put that slap of salmon with something else.
Great. So it's like a little meal prep that goes a long way. You can manipulate some of the ingredients to different meals.
Yep.
All right,
Correct.
great. So we got our apples cut, right? We talked about all of our ingredients. We talked about prices. What is next preparation-wise?
So I'll go ahead and we could take the apple or the pineapple half right there. And if you want to cut that in half,
Yeah.
I'll do half and you do half.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
One of
then,
these. There you go.
And then basically I would say cut that in half again. And then we can go ahead and just make those into little pieces.
Oh, nice. So then we have the salmon here, right? So like, are we putting salt, pepper, olive oil on those, or are we just like putting that in the oven just as it is?
Yeah, so what we're gonna do with the salmon is we're just gonna sprinkle a little bit of salt on there because, you know, salt is definitely one of those things that is in almost everything.
Yes.
And that's the #1 factor in bad diets is a lot of salt and a lot of sugar. A lot of inflammation, added sugar, hidden salt is in there. So we wanna put just a little bit of salt and just a little bit of pepper and a little bit of olive oil on that. And that's
Okay.
pretty much it for the salmon before it goes into the oven.
All right, let me start that up. So I'm gonna just drizzle some olive oil on top.
Yep.
Ba-da-ba.
Boom.
Some salt.
Yep, just a little bit of salt and then just a dash of pepper too.
Dash of pepper. Okay. Ooh, sorry, I got some stuck on my fingers there. Can't let that go to waste. And some pepper. So we preheated our oven to about 350, and you said that'll take about 15 minutes or so?
15 minutes, yeah.
All right, cool. I'm gonna pop this into the oven.
Perfect.
All right, dope. So what are we working with next?
Go ahead and use the cilantro.
All right. So do you want me to pick off the leaves or just kind of chop it
We
and then
just chop it right in the middle.
All right, cool.
Chop it right on in the middle. Bam. And if you want me to take half of those.
Yeah.
And then these kind of, I mean, I'm not really the best at cutting cilantro, but I
Yeah.
usually just bunch it all up and just kind of,
Give it one of those.
yep, just give it one. Make sure it's crunching. As long as it's making the crunch sound, you're good. You can like smell cilantro when you cut it up too.
Oh,
It comes
yeah.
right on out of there.
Cut it a mile away and you're just
Yeah.
like, oh, someone's making something tasty.
And usually with all of this, I actually put this all together into the fruit. So the cilantro,
Oh.
it gets chopped up, and so while the salmon's cooking, it kind of all meshes together.
Oh, yeah, that's a great move. So everything's kind of like melding together, getting to know each other, saying like, hey man,
Yeah.
I'll borrow your acid if you take some of these aromas from me.
Exactly. Good way to put it.
All right, get this chopped up. Ba, 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 ba. So when I use cilantro, or when a recipe calls for cilantro, I usually sub it out with parsley because people have this like adverse like soap feeling or soap flavor in their mouth.
Yeah.
With that, but I see this dish how it probably needs the cilantro because it's so herbaceous.
Right.
So I would say don't substitute parsley for the cilantro in this recipe.
And then we can just put this right in there.
Right into the bowl.
Just right
Okay.
in there. I would even say if we want to, we can stir it up.
Oh, dope. We have a fork here, so I will get this in there. All right, so we have our salmon's been cooking for about 15 minutes or so, and it's absolutely beautiful and all the way cooked through, right? We have our apple, cilantro, pineapple mixture that has been like, let's just say marinating for that same amount of time, so that's super sexy. This is all good. So what's the next thing we should do?
So I think what we should do actually is we're gonna start with the rice.
Okay.
We'll start with the rice first.
Putting it into our plates?
Put it into the plates. I think, can we just
Yeah,
use
we can
this?
just scoop it with that, yeah.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and just grab a little bit, just like a little spoonful right here.
Nice, nice.
Put that on the side. Put that on the side there. And then I think that just like a little pinch of the spinach will be good. Just kind of just put it over here with this. The arugula, just a little bit like this. And then everything else with the cilantro and the pineapple, they just kind of go on top of the arugula right here.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. So this is like one of those things, the more colors you see in your dish, the healthier it is, right? So we're seeing all of this green, we're seeing the white from the pineapple. Check this out. We're seeing the yellow from the pineapple, all of the apples. So this looks super sexy.
That's right.
Right? And then some slivers of this salmon here.
Yes, so I'd say you could just cut it however you want to.
All right, cool. I'm thinking one of these bad boys. Right? And then place it
right there on top. Delicious.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Bon appetit, man.
So this is a beautiful salmon bowl that's good for your heart, good for inflammation, tons and tons of vitamins. So we're gonna taste it. We're gonna dig in. Let's check it out.
Let's do it.
I'm going straight for
Cheers,
this.
man. Cheers.
These apples.
Good?
That's tasty. This is really good.
Thank you. Perfect.
So the salmon with all of these, that's really good, man.
It's kind of like, you see how it's like wet, but it just, at least the arugula and the spinach is still kind of dry, but you mix it together with the spinach, everything.
You don't miss like a dressing of any sort. So we have the Dijon mustard, right? So that's optional, right? So remember that. You don't need to dress it because there's so much flavor here. So this is what we're gonna say. We're gonna say goodbye because we need to finish eating these bowls. Thank you so much for hanging out. This is Chef Bobby. He came all the way down to hang out with us and show us this really, really healthy meal. Remember, if you like this video, and if you like Chef Bobby too, watch more of our videos, follow Chef Bobby. We're gonna have more videos like this all year long. We're super excited to have you guys with us. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you have any questions. We're here to answer those for you. My name is Chef Jamal.
Chef Bobby.
This is Feed the Mass. Thank you so much. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. I had to take a real bite after it was over.
Okay. Yeah, you can just like kind of make this all by itself and just like add some protein in it.